We all know that Earth is our home, but what if it wasn't the only one? Science fiction has long imagined what life might be like when humans become an interplanetary species living not just on Earth, but also on other worlds. But for the most part, these visions of the future have been pretty incomplete. Focusing more on the science and less on the art of what a Martian lifestyle would actually look like. Fortunately, we don't need to rely on Hollywood to get a glimpse of what life on Mars might be like. There are many real-world plans for how humans will live on Mars that reveal some exciting insights into what a future Martian city could be like. In this video, we're going to explore some innovative ideas for how humans might live on Mars, from 3D printed buildings to inflatable habitats and more. The first step for any wannabe Martian settlers is getting there. And while SpaceX is working toward making their Starship a reliable mode of transportation to low Earth orbit, the journey to Mars will still be a perilous, uncomfortable ride. In fact, the trip to Mars will take about 6 months each way, assuming there aren't any delays due to weather or technical difficulties. This means that astronauts won't be able to bring much with them, so they'll need to make their homes on site. One of the most promising methods for creating sustainable habitats on Mars is 3D printing. With the right technology, it should be possible to manufacture bricks from the red planet's abundant resources and print entire buildings in a matter of days, dramatically speeding up the construction process compared to traditional techniques. In fact, engineers at NASA's Marshall Flight Center in Alabama have already created a prototype of a 3D printed Martian habitat that they call the Mars Cement Demonstration House. It's made from simulated Martian regolith, a dusty material that covers the planet's surface, which was shipped to the center from Utah's Mars Desert Research Station, a popular analog research facility for studying life on Mars. Using special equipment called a crete printer, engineers mixed the regolith with a plasticizer to form cement, and then used it to print the walls, floor, and roof of the house. They even experimented with a new type of brick they developed called a cellular confinement structure, or CCS. These lightweight bricks are made by spraying a binding agent over small pebbles and letting them dry. NASA believes that 3D printing will be key to building sustainable habitats on Mars because it uses local materials, requires little human labor, and can quickly create structures that can withstand the harsh Martian environment. And unlike current concepts for Martian habitats such as inflatable modules or shipping containers, 3D printed buildings could potentially last for centuries. But where will these houses get their power? One promising solution comes from the aptly named New York-based company, Powering Mars. This startup has developed a new type of nuclear battery that could provide enough energy to power a small settlement of 100 people on Mars for decades without ever having to be refueled. The device, called a kilopower reactor, is a small module that generates electricity by splitting atoms of uranium-235. While nuclear power is controversial on Earth, the potential benefits for space exploration are huge. Unlike solar power, nuclear power doesn't rely on constant sunlight to produce energy. And unlike chemical batteries, nuclear batteries don't produce toxic waste. It also wouldn't be the first time that nuclear power has helped humans venture farther away from Earth. Both the Apollo missions to the Moon and the Voyager probes that left our solar system all relied on radioisotope thermoelectric generators or rigs for power. In fact, rigs are still providing power to 10 spacecraft currently exploring the outer solar system. So the technology is proven and reliable. But it is dangerous, since it involves transporting radioactive material through deep space. So the team at Powering Mars has designed a reactor that produces much less radiation than rigs, and is shielded inside a protective housing. The company hopes to conduct a test run of its technology by powering a Mars base with one of its reactors by 2028. Sustainable living is impossible without clean water. And although there's evidence that liquid water may exist on Mars, it probably isn't safe to drink. Fortunately, there's another source of fresh water on Mars: ice. It's found in abundance at the poles and in some areas near the equator. The trick is getting it out of the ground. Enter Ice Runway, a startup based in Boulder, Colorado, which has developed a unique method of extracting water from ice deposits that could help sustain human life on Mars. Instead of using heavy machinery to drill into the ice, Ice Runway's system works by melting the surface of the ice deposit, using lasers or microwaves, and then collecting the resulting water in a series of troughs. The company claims that their technology could extract between 70 and 90,000 gallons of water per day. And because it doesn't require digging, it avoids disturbing any underground structures that could be hiding ancient life. Once they have access to the water, future Martians can use solar-powered desalination plants to remove salt and other impurities to make it safe to drink. Solar power is also key to growing food on Mars, but unlike Earth, there's no oxygen in the Martian atmosphere to support photosynthesis. Luckily, it's easy to find plenty of oxygen on Mars, thanks to another abundant resource, iron oxide, aka rust. When exposed to light, the rust releases oxygen as part of a natural chemical reaction. So one idea is to mix rust with soil and water and spray it onto crops to supply them with oxygen. Farmers on Mars may also want to grow plants hydroponically, which means growing them in water rather than soil. Hydroponic farms could allow future Martians to farm fresh salads and vegetables without ever tilling the ground. And although it may be impossible to grow traditional grains like wheat or rice on Mars, scientists think that genetically engineered plants could survive and thrive in the thin Martian atmosphere. In fact, experiments have shown that when plants are grown in Martian simulants, they show stunted growth but are otherwise healthy and edible. One of the biggest obstacles facing any mission to Mars is communication delay. Signals from Earth take 22 minutes to reach Mars and the same amount of time to get a response. This means that astronauts will need to perform many tasks autonomously, including operating rovers, conducting scientific experiments, and performing repairs. To help astronauts complete these tasks, NASA has developed a new type of robot they hope will make life on Mars a little easier. The Versatile Extravehicular Mobility Platform, or VEMP, is a modular robotic platform that can be reconfigured to perform different functions. For example, it could be equipped with a drill to extract resources, or with cameras and scientific instruments to explore the surface. VEMP is also designed to be as helpful as possible to human operators. It can map areas of interest and even identify objects using artificial intelligence, helping astronauts prioritize their work and explore more efficiently. Eventually, the goal is to develop a swarm of these robots that can work together to accomplish complex tasks. As we continue to explore Mars, we'll undoubtedly learn more about its history and the challenges of living on its surface. But fortunately, we're also learning about the incredible adaptability of life and the ingenuity of the human spirit. Who knows? Maybe one day soon we'll be able to call ourselves a truly interplanetary species, living not just on Earth but on Mars too. If you liked this video, be sure to check out our video on Elon Musk's plans for his colony on Mars. With so much excitement surrounding the prospect of life on Mars, we can't wait to share more about what's next for space exploration. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.